Now on BBC One, this
is
week's
BBC
Top
One.
Sounds with Julian Clary.
The Swamp Thing is back on Top of the Pops tonight.
There we go. The Swamp Thing by The Grid is coming up, and your host for this edition is Mr. Julian Clary.
Let's get raving straight away with Clubhouse.
Right, so what are we kicking off with here? Clubhouse, did he say? Looking for a graphic on screen. Living in the sunshine even. Right, flubbing my words, that's a good start. Right then, welcome to another Top of the Pops reaction. This one is from the 21st of July, 1994. So that was 28 years ago today. Today being the day that this video is being published on YouTube. Touch wood. And on the subject of touching wood, Julian Clary is your host, comedian. I hadn't seen him in anything for years, Julian Clary. It was quite common for them to have start having these sort of celebrity, although obviously all the previous presenters would have been celebrities by default, even though a lot of them were Radio 1 DJs and people like that. But you know, these kind of like not necessarily music related presenters. Yeah, I remember Lee and Herring presenting a show, Top of the Pops, around, that might have been 95, 96 maybe. But yeah, seems to be a punch. Is that Punch and Judy thing going on? I suppose it's in keeping with sort of the summer vibe that this track's trying to put across. I don't remember this at all. I was listening to a lot of music in the 1990s, in the mid-90s. I suppose you would class 94. But I wasn't paying constant attention to the charts like I had been doing you know, a few years previously, sort of late 80s and early 90s. I think I was a little bit jaded with a lot of pop music, which is ironic really, because looking back, there's a lot of stuff now that I really love from this era. That was alright.
They've got so much going for them. They've got testosterone, pectorals, what more is there? It's Bad Boys Inc.
Right, Bad Boys Inc. That's, what was that? They don't put this graphics on very long, do they? Take Me Away, was it? It doesn't really matter if I don't get the name in full, or even the name of the track right in any sense, because I've got the old info bar down, haven't I? So, yeah, not the most auspicious of starts for this Top of the Pops, really. We had a alright but very generic and not very memorable dance track, and now we've got Bad Boys Inc., a boy band who I barely remember. The name rings a bell, but I couldn't have named a single one of their hits, and this one, for all I know, might have been their biggest hit. I think they're a UK boy band, probably sort of riffing on E17 and the popularity that they were having at this point, and obviously Take That was still massive, although looking at the way these lads are dressed, you imagine they were more influenced by E17 than Take That, but I don't know, and what's more, I don't care. No, not rated this at all. So how's the weather been for you lately? On the day of me recording this, it's been lovely, hence the lack of sleeves here. Sometimes with these boy bands, they end up having like a member who sort of goes on to greater fame. They have sort of one or two minor hits, and then like one member might go on to become a fairly well-known actor or something. I remember there was someone, it was in a band called Point Break, who technically they were like a three-piece boy band, but Had a couple of really good tunes. They were more late 90s though, and eventually, like probably nearly 15 years later, one of the guys from there went on to be a regular in EastEnders. So I'm trying to keep a vague eye open as best I can to see if any of these three here may have shown up elsewhere, like maybe in the acting realm further down the line. Who knows? Any interesting information, or basically any information at all, even if it's not particularly interesting, I'll have put on screen. I always do. That's what the info bar's there for. Yeah, this is pretty pants, this. It's just boy band by numbers, isn't it? No, I didn't rate that whatsoever.
You meet the nicest people here at Top of the Pops. What's your name exactly? Nicola. Lovely, Pam. Whereabouts in Essex are you from?
He's such a bitch, isn't
Well,
he?
let's crack on, shall we, with a very exciting band who are called something about dogs. I've written it down here. Warren G and Nat.
Oh, okay. Well, this is perked up. We've got Warren G and Nate Dogg, Regulated. It's at number 9. I do like this. This is kind of an early exploration for British people into G-Funk, which is essentially a spin-off of gangster rap, but it's got more singing in, and obviously Nate Dogg is giving you the singing here. We've got some charts as well, so I'm kind of looking out to see if anything particularly interesting crops up. No doubt it'll give some hints as to what we might see later. Alice Cooper's at number 34 there. But yeah, I do like this. I do like Warren G, Regulate. I still think his best single was that one he did with the Rhapsody. I did react to that at the Top of the Pops. That was from 97, I think. Rolling Stones are down at 26. Oh, 7 Seconds using Dawn Nina Cherry. I think I've reacted to that before, but that wouldn't be surprising because I know I've done 1994 episodes before, and it was probably probably a few weeks after this. Ace of Base are down at 17 with Don't Turn Around. There's Bad Boys Inc., a new entry at 15, that was Shite. Big Mountain, their cover of Baby I Love You Way was at number 12. Number 11, China Black. I think I've reacted to them before, so there may be some repetition with songs from a previous 1994 reaction. I think it would have been an August 94 one, I think. I'm getting the feeling. I don't know, I'll lose track. I do at least one of these a month. For a long while I was doing 2 a month. And it's easy to forget. I fortunately haven't started reacting to a whole episode that I've already done before. I mean, that would be pretty gormless. And you wouldn't know anyway, because I wouldn't even, once I'd realised, I would stop recording it. So I don't know what I'm mentioning.
A bit of a dance coming on. Why don't you join me at home? Just roll back the carpet, tuck your 3-piece out the way, if you'll pardon the expression, and dance to Grid.
Right, Grid with Swamp Thing, they're at number 4. And as they said during the pre-intro bit at the start, they're back on Top of the Pops, so sounds like this wasn't their first appearance. So the Grid, I remember quite liking this at the time. I wasn't head over heels for it. Now, I don't know. I think this has had diminishing returns for me. This, I mean, it's probably the best thing that's been on the episode so far, but that's not really saying a lot. No, apart from Warren G, but I kind of don't really like counting promo video clips. Because, you know, it's mainly about the studio performances and the live performances really at the Top of the Pops. But if we discount Warren G, which, and like I say, Regulate, I've always liked that, probably the best thing, but I don't know. I'm not overly fussed about Swamp Thing anymore, even though I think I did quite like this 28 years ago. One of the grid was Dave Bell from Soft Cell. Ooh, that rhymes. I'm pretty sure. So someone who'd had a lot of chart success, particularly in the 1980s. Soft Cell, of course, were Dave Bell and Mark Almond, one of your early synth pop duos that became in vogue in the 1980s. They, of course, got to number one in, I think, 1981. That was with their cover of Tainted Love. The excellent Say Hello, Wave Goodbye was another one of their big hits. They're back together now in the current, as I speak, in 2022. As they did a collaboration with Pet Shop Boys this year. But the grid, I don't know how long they went for. I think they went for quite a while, because I think they did a lot of remixes. In fact, I've just remembered, the grid did a really good remix of Bow Down Mister by Jesus Loves You, which was one of Boy George's projects. And I think I've heard other grid mixes before. I don't know who the other member of the grid is. I'm certain I mean, it looks like they're more than a duo here, but I think I'll have corrected myself on screen if I'm wrong. But I think generally they were a duo, Dave Bell and probably whoever's on vocals. Yeah, I mean, it was fine, that, but I don't like as much as I used to. Is he changing his outfit every time?
To name but one. Now let's have a look and see how CJ Lewis is doing.
CJ Lewis, with Everything's Alright, uptight. There was a lot of reggae in the charts around this point, weren't there? It's like reggae and sort of, I suppose, getting into dancehall and ragga and reggaeton, I suppose. That might have been a few years later, really, with people like Sean Paul. But there was CJ Lewis, there was Pat O'Banton. He had a couple of big hits, didn't he? I know I'm forgetting other big reggae fused hits. I mean, there are people like Shaggy. There again, like I say, you'd consider them more sort of dancehall, I think, really, or reggae pop. I'm getting a shot of Julian Clary in the audience. It's basically the Julian Clary show, this, isn't it? So yeah, this is, I don't know if you can call it a strict cover of Uptight by Stevie Wonder, but it's certainly nicked the chorus from it. But probably can't call it a straight up cover version. With CJ Lewis's Toasting here, it's a very good toaster, which is basically a Jamaican version of a rapper, but with the obvious cultural differences. Before anyone starts thinking I'm going on about kitchen appliances. Oh dear, it's been a long day. I quite like this. Nothing's really blowing me away on this so far, so I'm hoping the number one, or anything that comes before that's going to be really, up my street, as it were. But this is all right. I suppose it sounds a bit novelty now, and it was very of its time, and it was a little bit of a fad, I think, sort of these like proper Jamaican-based artists who were no doubt massive in the home country and in the Caribbean, and they were having these sort of one or two hits, big hits in the UK, and then sort of the following year, 95, 96, it was all over and done with, and people moved on to Britpop. Yeah, I like the chorus, but then again, it's a good Stevie Wonder song, so you couldn't really do too much damage to that.
I grew up watching the Flintstones, and even now, it only needs a whiff of an old loincloth to get me shouting yabba dabba doo. You have a gay old time while I nip off and slip into something more comfortable. Here's
I
the
can't
lovely
really criticise him for his innuendos, can I? Because
News Network coming to you live from
no one
Jurassic
loves a
Park
good
in
innuendo
downtown
more than
Bedrock.
me.
An
But
historic
Gillian
event
Clary
indeed
did
as
make
we
a career
witness
on
the
it, didn't he?
final concert in their grueling
this
four-day
will be
world
B-52s,
tour.
won't it?
The planet's only rock band, the BC-52.
Oh yeah, they were known as the BC-52s briefly, weren't they? Yep, they are credited as the BC-52s here as well. Meet the Flintstones at number 3. Of course, this was from the film of the same name. Oh yeah, Halle Berry was in this film. I did see this movie on video like a few years later. I wouldn't have been asked to go into the cinema. Right, my problem. I'm not even going to talk about the song because it's standard B-52s. They're covering the Flintstones theme. You know, it's all fun. It's fine. You know, there's a kind of novelty thing. Right, the Flintstones movie. Let's address the main problem. They cast Rosie O'Donnell as Betty Rubble. I mean, Rosie O'Donnell, like the butchest dyke in America, playing someone who, it always seems a bit weird calling cartoon characters sex symbols, but like everyone fancied Betty Rubble, didn't they? I was more of a Wilma Flintstone guy. I think it's because I like that white dress she was always wearing. And who played Wilma in this live-action film? Was it Elizabeth Shue? No, I don't know. Or was it Elizabeth Perky? It was Elizabeth somebody, I think. One of those. But I was always more of a Wilma man than Betty man when it came to the cartoon anyway. But Rosie O'Donnell as Betty Rubble. Whoever casted this film needed a dry slap, basically. Who else was in it? It was John Goodman. He played Fred Flintstone, and what's his name? The guy who was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, who I don't think does any acting anymore, and I forgot his name. Rick Moranis. Yeah. Rick Moranis played Barney Rubble, so he was Rosie O'Donnell's husband. If that's not a contradiction in terms, in this film, that would, I mean, it was a pretty crap film from what I remember. I wouldn't recommend you go and watch it.
The BC-52s there being very camp indeed.
Yeah, I think he's had another outfit change.
Got some real men for you now. And you might think, looking at all this hair, that it's tummy with it. But no.
out of what's been on the show, this is up there as one of the better things, I think, really. It's not my usual scene, as I say. It's Brit rock and sort of hard rock, heavy metal. I kind of like seeing clips of this kind of thing on the ITV chart show when they'd have the rock top 10 every 3 weeks or whatever it was. But I was never bothered about listening to whole albums or even many of, whole singles. I mean, I was getting really into synth pop and, indie stuff at this point, New Order, Pet Shop Boys. I mean, I'd been listening to them for years before anyway, but it was 94 I really started collecting a lot of these acts on tape, and then the following year, Christmas 95, I got my first CD player, and then it was off to the races. Yeah, that was pretty good, that skin.
Exfoliate, I don't know about you. Now, if you've ever queued for a kebab on a Saturday night, here's a song for you. It's called Let's Get Ready to Rumble.
Oh, no.
Ready, and so are those two disco dollies, DJ
well.
Duncan.
Michael Buffer there with Michael Buffer sample. I don't think they got him to actually re-record that. Here they are then, PJ and Duncan. Yes, it's Ant and Dec, and when this was re-released, it's been re-released at least once to my knowledge. They would have been credited as Ant and Dec by then, but at this point they were still the Biker Grove boys. They weren't the ubiquitous appearing for the opening of an envelope on ITV as long as they get paid for it. Cheeky chappies who yeah. It's Let's Get Ready to Rumble. What is it? People like this because it's catchy and it reminds them of a certain point in their life, and I suppose, yeah, I'm part in there, or PJ, as I think he was. Is hardly Newcastle's answer to Tupac Shakur. But now PJ and Duncan / Ant and Dec, I don't think I found them massively offensive. I used to watch Biker Grove sometimes. I didn't watch it religiously. I was a Green Chill guy up till about the mid-90s anyway, and then I think I got fed up of Green Chill as well. Often I'd catch the end of Biker Grove, like the last 10-15 minutes, or I'll wait for Neighbours or something like that. Back when Neighbours was still worth watching. And, I'd often see PJ and Duncan, Ant McPartlin and Declan Donnelly on that. And that bloke who ran the youth club, or whatever it was, who had the beard, he had sort of slightly evil eyes in him. I don't think he wasn't an evil character, I think he was a nice bloke. I can picture him in my mind now, and he would play a really good villain in something, I think, him, but he was a nice guy in Biker Grove. I always felt he looked a bit suspect. I can't remember his name. I don't even think I'll bother putting it in the info box, it's not really relevant. No doubt I'll have some interesting tidbits about Ant and Dec for you relating to their music career. No point to talk about their TV presenting career because we all know about that. It's still going on now, it'll never end. They shit out the same arsehole, don't they, Ant and Dec? Apart from when Ant had to go away for a little bit because he was in rehab or something, and Dec was kind of out there on his own for a bit, like a lost puppy. And did he present some Britain's Got Talents with probably Holly Willoughby or someone? It's always the same people on ITV, isn't it? Like the same bland, family-friendly primetime presenters and stars, isn't it? Shite. Yeah.
Now let's have a barger at the top 10.
Here we go, it's top 10.
Everything is alright, apparently, for CJ Lewis. While Warren G and Nate Dogg invite you to
enjoyed that, probably my highlight
Everybody gone be gone, say the two cowboys at
of
number
the
8.
episode.
Well, love ain't here anymore, sadly, but take that at 7. Crazy for You is at 6 by Let Loose.
Good song.
While Aswad
I think I know what's going to be number 1. It is something I've reacted to before. Well, let's see, let's just see.
Well, the BC-52s invite you to meet the Flintstones at number 3. I Swear, All for One at number 2. Well, 8 weeks at number 1, I ask.
8 weeks,
Is it necessary?
You know what's coming.
Apparently it is. Love is all around, they say, and so indeed are wet, wet, wet.
So, yeah, I know that I've reacted to Wet, 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 Love Is All Around before, so I think what I said last time, it was probably about a year ago, give or take a month, that I would have watched this last and filmed that reaction. I think I said at the time, I got sick of it, same as everyone did, and I was never a big Wet, Wet, Wet fan to begin with. But I do like the film Four Weddings and a Funeral. It's, you know, it had a charm to it. It was, yeah, it's not a perfect film by any stretch. You know, and I could probably pick more holes in it today than I would have done 20, 25 years ago. But as British comedies go, it was a deserved success. And as for Love Is All Around, everyone heard it one too many times, and even Wet Wet Wet, or their record label, whoever it was, decided to delete the single so that it wouldn't spend. I mean, in a way, it's kind of a shame that they didn't just let it run for another couple of weeks, and we could have beat bloody Bryan Adams, which was a far worse song than this. Everything I Do It For You, which was obviously 16 weaker at #1 about 3 years previous. I think that might have been some predictions for the next top 40 on screen there, but I couldn't see them. They went fast and the text was too faint. Excuse me. As covers go, it is what it is. It's fine. So, what have you thought of this episode of Top of the Pops? Leave it in the comments. I've been disappointed overall. Although nothing's been truly terrible, we've kind of verged on it a little bit with like PJ and Duncan, and that Bad Boys Inc. was pretty terrible as well. Just a lot of bland stuff really. Warren G was great, Skin was pretty good, that opening dance track was above average. CJ Lewis wasn't bad. I preferred the chorus to his sort of impromptu toasting though. But I did quite like hearing that, as it reminded me of the reggae craze of sort of 93, 94. Where there seemed to be a big new reggae hit every week or thereabouts. So yeah, is this did he say, Julian Clary, this is the 8th week at #1 for this, so yeah, this has got another 7 weeks to go at #1. So if you're fed up of it now, stop buying it, but you won't stop buying it because I'm speaking in the future, and I'm just talking bollocks.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm off now to share a sausage on a stick and an ice pop with the boys from Skin. Meanwhile, do have a very glamorous evening. And thank you, and goodbye from all of us here at Top of the Pops. Bye-bye.
Right, so this sounds like Shampoo and Trouble playing us out.
Richard's past returns to haunt him in EastEnders, next on BBC One.
Well, you're not going to see that, nor am I. I'm not really going to be able to talk about Shampoo Trouble because it's time for me to say thank you for watching. Please do join me again next time for my next Top of the Pops reaction. Cheers, everyone. See ya!